Hi, Nathan. Welcome back to the Joust.
Hey, thanks, mate. It's good to be back. Yeah.
It's good to have you back at the Joust.
It's really, really good to be back, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Joust. My name is Liam McNeil. I'm joined here by a very dear friend of the show who we probably should have had on last week after the loss to Melbourne, as is tradition.
It is.
But we thought we'd get him on after a big win over the West Suburbs Tigers. Now, Nathan, how you doing, mate? How you holding up? Fill the Joust fans in as to why this has been a particularly hard week for you.
I kind of think you did this on purpose because I did announce myself as the Melbourne Storm loss correspondent, as I have been on twice in the past. And I'm really good at hating on Melbourne and being on a night's podcast, hating on Melbourne. It's really good fun. It's really, really good fun. Being on a podcast after the Tigers lose big time, it could have been a close loss, would have been fine. We got schmozzled.
There was a schmozzling involved, yeah.
Something in the region of 40 points, I think, to be exact, 40 points.
It was 40 points,
it was
exactly.
10 points, man.
The word schmozzle, now that doesn't come up too often anymore. It's a very good word. It harkens back a bit to old and Australiana.
It does. And I think it's one of those words that I like to use in my everyday life because there's not much about my everyday life that resembles modern day, old Australiana, if you will.
Exactly.
Apart from selling a 4X gold at the pub. That's as far as I go with my Australiana.
See, I've been working the word cobber back into my, what do you call it? My words that I use.
Your vernacular.
Your vernacular,
hey.
Yes.
Jinx.
There we go, vernacular. But look, we've got a show and we've got some stuff to talk about.
We do, and I'm here for it, and let's talk some stuff about some things.
Let's put the pain off for you, righty. We'll start this week's show with the news as we always do.
Let's do it. Beautiful.
Huge week in the news this week, righty. Of course, there's huge news around the world. Everything's happening. No one knows what's going on. But in the rugby league world, we know that a few things are happening. Let's start with one that is very near and dear to the Knights fans' hearts, but you're going to hate it again. The Knights and the... Oh, hang on. No, you won't hate it. The Knights game
I already hate it. Get me fired up.
Warriors, I believe, has been confirmed to be taking place in Tamworth at Scully Park, which is good for the Knights. The last time we played in Tamworth...
Great name for a park as well.
Oh,
great name for a park.
Doesn't it just make you want to get on the tins?
Just so you real get one down you.
But yeah, as Nathan will probably remember with a whole deal of pain, the last time the Knights played at Scully Park, I believe, was the infamous Bureau to SKD Crossfield bomb in the Miners jersey.
The skid kid in the Miners jersey. And I think if anyone, for the three people that listened to the podcast I was on last time, my absolute loathing for the Miners jersey, let me just say, before just tangentially go this way, I'm really glad they didn't wear it again against the Tigers because, again, seeing two teams in orange running out against each other is the dumbest shit you'll ever see.
Isn't it just ludicrous? It makes no sense.
So
Who's
dumb.
making these decisions?
People that earn a lot of money and should be making better ones.
You know what it is?
That's the boring answer.
You know what it is? It was pre-Volandis.
It is.
Volandis would never have let this happen. Thank God. And every day, thank God for Peter Volandis. When I wake up and I say my prayers in the morning, I say, thank you, Peter Volandis, for not making us wear the mining jersey against the Tigers. So we'll see how that one pans out. But yes, good to get back to Tamworth for the boys.
Good country rugby league.
Honest.
Sorry, I misspoke. Rugby league.
Rugby league.
Tamworth, what a town.
Oh, do you reckon the boys will climb up the Golden Guitar? They've got not much else to do.
Well, when you're stuck in a bubble, as we can probably talk about later, you do want to get out of said bubble.
Yeah.
I think maybe the Golden Guitar's in the bubble.
I'd hope so.
You're not going to catch much up there apart from some pigeon shit. That's all I'm thinking, man.
Well, that's it. Look, if I'm the Knights players and I see the Golden Guitar's not in the bubble, what am I going to do? I'm going to say I'm not playing. I'm not interested.
If you see a big guitar in the wild, anywhere, anything bigger than a bass... I'm talking like a proper double bass style. You're going to climb that shit. It's made of wood most of the time too, so it resembles a tree. You're going to get up that as fast as you can. No jacaranda, but still good for climbing.
Oh, now we grew up with a mulberry tree. They are great for climbing. Yeah, they've got all these little knobbles on it. You can put your feet on them.
Yeah, but never wear a white shirt.
No. Especially if you're making mulberry pie.
I will never let one of my best mates down. Nicholas Bowe, if you're watching this, I know you're not.
Huge fan of the show.
My favourite Bugs Bunny t-shirt I was wearing one day. He had a mulberry tree and I climbed that mother and ruined my favourite white Bugs Bunny t-shirt. I'll never let you down for it.
I feel like he owes you a great deal.
Yeah, I don't think you can get Bugs Bunny t-shirts with his head plastered over in an extra large men's size. I haven't seen it yet.
We'll keep looking. If any jousters can help us out with that shirt, please send it through.
Yep.
We will not be paying for it. So cover the freight and we're golden. Next item in the news, breaching the bubble. Young Stafford Toa and Simi Sasangi have been referred to Project Apollo for breaching the NRL bubble. Now they're young.
Yes.
The boys are young. They've got to quarantine for 2 weeks, but they're children. In the eyes of the law, they're adults.
They are.
Are they? How old are they? I don't know.
I don't know. Old enough to know that they're doing the wrong thing.
Yes.
I mean, who were they again? Because honestly, I have...
Stafford Toa
Yes.
scored a beautiful try on the weekend.
Good. I wasn't watching at that point.
Simi Sasangi. I believe he's a young tearaway. Apparently, he's got some good stuff coming.
If we can get the vision of these glorious tries you talk about, that'd be fantastic. I'd love to see him again. But yeah, look, they're doing dumb stuff, and there's, you know what? I've never known footy players to do dumb stuff. So it's good that they're changing the mould, getting out there, changing what the perception of footy players is in the general community.
They're really keeping people guessing, which I like. Because too often, you know, rugby league players, they were normal. They didn't do anything fun or ludicrous. I'd never before this whole breaching bubbles situation, I'd never heard a rugby league player who's, you know, gone outside the law to do anything.
No, and I'm glad they're breaching the bubble and not doing the bubbler as some former rugby league players have done, because that would be actually something that would be less serious in these times, because they can put the whole game in disrepute. You're dumb.
All the bubbler did, there was no... You know, people within 1.5 metres or 4 square metres, whatever. No. That was Todd Carney doing it to himself.
Exactly.
So he was...
in the privacy of a public bathroom. Exactly.
But, you know, it's good of him to observe social distancing all those years ago. Maybe he knew what was coming, maybe not. But let's look at some of the bigger names. Now, our guys, they get an excuse because they're just boys. They're just boys having a good time. How do you excuse Wayne Bennett, Paul Vaughan, Anthony Seibold, Alan Langer? Went to the Caxton Hotel. Isn't that the most Queensland thing ever?
That is the most... and I hate Queensland. That is the most Queenslander thing to go to the Caxton.
In the middle of a global pandemic.
Well, because there's not going to be anyone there, are there? There's not going to be anybody there. It's the fucking Caxton dude. And like, honestly, like Wayne Bennett, you can excuse him. He's senile. He doesn't know what he's doing. The Seibold was for a family emergency. Excusable as well. Langer, dumb. He's gone to Caxton.
Just wanted to get on the cans, mate.
No one knows Langer at the Caxton anyway. He's basically a nobody.
I was going to say, I can't imagine he'd pay for a drink there ever.
Well, that's probably why he went there.
That's why he went there on his birthday. Just free, get a skinful for free.
Exactly. Now, who else do we have? We had Paul Vaughan using a fake name in a cafe.
That was a hilarious one. That was very funny.
That's actually well worth it, man. And you know what? Paul Vaughan's probably going to pay that fine in cash, honestly. He's going to just straight up do it under his fake name.
I think the funniest one, though, and this is just hilarious, Tavita Pangai Jr., well known as, you know, an upstanding member of the community, never does anything wrong.
No, not a thing.
But he was caught breaching protocol to go to a barber shop. It was the opening of the barber shop, and I believe the barber shop is either owned by or have major shareholders who are members of the Mongols Bikie Club.
Now, can we get slander and defamation charges on audio recordings?
Yes.
Okay,
but we don't care.
I definitely don't think that he's in on it the whole time.
We've had a dozen talks.
I've been privy to half of them. It's fine. He was well aware of this shit. This is what makes it even more egregious, because like Pangai is literally been a bit of a dick all season, really, and he's on the outer of the Broncos to start
throughout his career, really,
pretty well. Yeah. And he goes and screws it up like this with known gang affiliates. I mean, either it's the dumbest thing in the world, or it's completely on brand, and it's perfect for him.
Well, he is a good Newcastle boy, you know, played his juniors here. So being in Newcastle,
I keep forgetting that.
You develop a rough edge, you know. You hang out with the Wharfies.
The Wharfies.
I don't know, other people who do seedy undercover work.
Yes.
What do Wharfies do now?
I don't know. Work on the wharf still? There's
still
a wharf,
isn't it?
Isn't it?
Union?
Well, if they're strong, I haven't heard about them in recent years.
No,
probably because they're silencing all their critics with the strong arm of Pangai.
Now, this is a big one, Nathan. I'm glad this came up through the week, because I would love to discuss this in great depth. Now, Nathan Brown has been announced as the coach for the Warriors starting from next year. And Philip Ronald Gould will be working for the club in a consultancy role. Now, Brownie, first off the bat, leading, you know, he's starting his tenure really well by chasing Jack DeBellin as his marquee signing. So, you know, that's going to work
That's going to be fantastic for him.
I can't see anything standing in the way of that signing at all.
It's truly a bell end decision, that one. Absolutely. No, yeah, like he's one of the... Thank you very much. That's one of the main things that I can do. Nathan Brown, one of the worst Nathans in town. He's just above me on the rankings. I checked it earlier today. I almost consider that this is your free range to just rag on him, man.
Thank
because
you.
I feel like you need to let some stuff
Now,
off your chest.
I've been thinking recently about Brownie's tenure at the Knights. At the time, as listeners would know...
Was it 10 years? No, tenure. Oh, tenure. I thought tenure means you couldn't get fired.
Maybe?
Yeah, I don't
know.
know.
He didn't get fired, he left.
The English language is very difficult,
We don't get it in here. So the more I think about Nathan Brown, the more I look back on it and think maybe he was not a very good coach at all. Now, the reason I'm saying this, and Nathan, you follow a number of sports. I know you like your American sports.
I'm a sportsman.
You're a sportsman.
Apart from actually playing any sports,
I've got a much more singular focus because I can't focus on anything else besides one team at a time. Now, you've followed sports a long time. Have you ever heard a coach come out regularly and say, we are going to lose games, and the fans just accept it?
No, because he wouldn't be the coach for much longer.
But he was.
He was
the coach for 3 more years. And it's the more I think about it, the more ridiculous it is that he came out and he said, we're going to lose these games. And we all just said, okay.
Yeah.
We just said, fine, that's okay. We'll just live with losing. No coach in any professional sporting code anywhere in the world should say to their fans, you are going to lose, fucking get used to it.
Fuck yes. I love this fire, bro. You've been holding on to this for so long. I can tell
It's only a fairly recent bubbling up in my loins that I've felt about Brownie. Because again, we were so pro Brownie. But the other thing that makes me think that is the way our juniors have come along this year. You know, your Safidi brothers, your Josh King over the weekend.
We'll talk about him later.
We'll talk about him later. But, you know, Lockie Fitzgibbon starting to hit some form as well. But, you know, these are all players that under Brown, they stagnated. The Safidis had a good start, but then they didn't. They kind of plateaued. Lockie Fitzgibbon had a good start, sort of plateaued. Josh King never really.
No, he didn't.
He
I think there was a bit of a cult of the Brown cult. I don't know what you would think.
We were the leaders,
and everyone was like, he's like coming in, like you said, and said, you know, we're going to stink, and everyone's like, yes, Brownie. Yeah. Yes, we will.
That's it.
It was we were going for like a #1 draft pick, and Brownie was going to get us there. That shit doesn't exist in the NRL.
No.
And like most other sports, it does.
Yeah.
But not in the NRL. And everyone was ready to go along for the ride.
Yeah.
And
I would have felt better if there was an enormous inquiry at the end of the year and they said, oh, Nathan Brown was purposely losing these games. I would say, I hate that, but it's better than saying, we'll just lose.
Yeah, Brownie was doing the process. Yeah. The Philadelphia 76ers, and he's like, you know, well, I mean, they did a shit job of that too. So, I mean, maybe he was.
Yeah,
maybe he completely was.
Look, as much as I think the Warriors need to be strong to have a good NRL, this ain't it. This ain't how it happened. Now, Philip Gould, that I think will be a good signing. They brought him on as a club-wide consultant, I believe they call it. So he's basically going to have control of the whole club. Now, if he can do for New Zealand Rugby League Pathways what he did for the Penrith Panthers, that's actually a pretty good thing. As we can see now from this current crop of Panthers players, that they all have come through the junior systems from the systems that Phil Gould set up all those years ago. So I think if he can be in control of recruitment, retention, junior pathways, he might actually be good.
I would agree, but I would also disagree for the fact that this is year 7 or 8 on the 5-year plan.
I believe it's been pushed out to 9.
Oh, good. I'm glad that we could do that. No, fantastic.
Yeah.
I dare say he's probably going to spend a total of 2 weeks in New Zealand. I don't think he's going there for long at all.
Zoom.
Yeah,
it's all Zoom now. Yeah, it's all Zoom now.
The year of the Zoom.
But yeah, no, look, I think Phil Gould will be a pretty good signing there. Have a bit of fun.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. Like, I haven't watched a Channel 9 broadcast of NRL in probably 2 years. No. By virtue of working the pub and the brand new KO that we got going on. So I don't even know what he says anymore. I just no is all I can remember.
That's all. Yep.
So if he says that the Warriors, it's going to help. I think that's going to help. Jack DeBellin. No.
Oh, goodness. Perfect. I love it.
Great signing.
I love it. Next item in the news. Ivan Cleary has been fined $20,000 for questioning the integrity of the referees.
I've got some thoughts on Ivan Cleary.
Now, I'm glad you mentioned that because the national Australian pastime, let's be honest, is putting the slipper into authority figures.
Yes.
I still haven't forgiven the referee who dudded me out of the 3rd grade grand final in 2017.
And that was your uncle.
That was my uncle, Uncle Des. He hasn't been to Christmas lunch since. So, you know, it's a real Australian national pastime to mock people of authority.
Oh, yeah.
What would you have said if you were Ivan and you won by a whole shitload of points but still think the refs were terrible?
I don't know. Honestly, like, if you're that far thinking that you deserve more, good on you. Say whatever you like. Say whatever you like because it doesn't actually matter. Whatever you're saying is crazy talk.
Yeah.
And you could say... the refs are on the payroll. The refs are like being paid by Canberra to do all this and that kind of shit. They didn't clearly do.
No.
He's always been one of these guys, and he's like I used to love him. I now hate him. And the hate was cemented because of when the Panthers beat the Tigers and he blew the kiss and he was doing all that. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Go fuck yourself.
I'll tell you what, there was a couple of other coaches who I think would have just thrown a chair through the window. Adam O'Brien being one of them. I think he would have done a great job. Throw the chair through the window, slide down, pick it up, hit him on the back, a la... It's not the WWF anymore, is it?
No, that's the World Wildlife Foundation.
Wonderful, wonderful
So
organization.
they changed the F in World Wrestling Federation to entertainment, which, I mean, the E for the entertainment. That makes the most sense out of everything in the world. Why would you have a foundation? What are you building towards? What are you doing? The World Wrestling Foundation. No, it's entertainment. It's for all the people At best, it's entertainment.
It's all the people who have suffered head knocks from wrestling.
Exactly.
There you go.
And then they turn on to be
multi-million
dollar actors like The Rock, who just bought the XFL, by the way. That was incredible.
What?
Yeah, he bought the XFL.
I need to know everything about this.
He bought the XFL. That's
for those people who don't know about the XFL,
the XFL,
it's intriguing. Tell us more about the XFL.
Quick 30-second XFL. XFL started as a wrestling football league, and it was scripted like wrestling.
What?
It was a wrestling football league. Way back in the day, I mean, way back in the day, I think it was like early 90s or something like that. It was literally football players that didn't make the NFL and known wrestlers with weird names on their jerseys.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, and it was all scripted, but then they brought it back last year, not scripted, as sort of like an alternative league to the NFL during the off-season. And it was actually pretty good.
So it's the Super League to rugby league.
Yes, exactly.
ARL.
But they couldn't pay anyone by the end of it. So they ended up sort of folding, and then The Rock bought it for like $15 million, and he's probably going to sell it to the NFL as their sort of development league, like, you know, like your Resi grade for your teams. So this guy is probably the smartest. Oh yeah, it was all like, and it was like wrestling, you know, the wrestling girls,
ring girls,
with the large bosoms,
yes,
and they'll come in and do all their stuff.
The skimpy clothing,
and it's like literally owned by Vince McMahon. There he is, Vince McMahon.
You would never have this at a Knights game because we're a good Catholic club.
We are,
you know. except the cheerleaders.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, they look
exactly like
shirts
that
most of the time, anyway.
Yeah, but yeah, that's an old shot of Vince. When was this?
I mean, he looks exactly the same now. It's amazing, amazing what like collagen and adrenochrome can do for people.
Where's that guy wearing a hockey mask? What the hell?
I think he's the cameraman. They got up so close that they'll have to be so protected. It was the dumb. And look at how packed the stadium is. Like, you'd never get that much. Like, truly, they're playing in like college games, like college arenas. You get like.
It's essentially the New South Wales Cup.
It's essentially New South Wales Cup, but then you bring in like the bloke that's working, like, that's doing dumb Newcastle League wrestling, and he's your quarterback, and then it's all scripted. Like, the people that are organising it know the results. This has gone longer than 30 seconds. They know the results already. It's essentially the World Wrestling Entertainment meets the NFL, and it's like completely wrestling bullshit.
That sounds brilliant.
I know.
Bring it in. Let's go. Yeah, what's the Australian wrestling body?
I don't know.
Is that the AWF maybe?
Let's call it that. The Australian Wrestling Foundation.
Yes, they can raise some money for brain damaged former wrestlers. But you've been holding this off too long, Nathan. Let's get to it. The Knights versus the West Tigers, 44 points to 4.
What a team.
What a team. What a game. That was the one we were waiting for. It's finally happened now. Nathan, obviously this hurt you very, very much to see, but you've got an idea for hats off. Who have you got?
Well, easily hats off for Pong. I mean, it's seen a game where you see Benji at the end of his career and Pong at the beginning of his career, and then he steps that step. I think it was he stepped Moses Mbai.
I believe it was Moses Mbai,
and it made him look like a geriatric. There it is.
He put him on the skates, which Pong has been known to do. He can put a player on the skates.
And this is like the moment when little Ralphie Wiggum gives Lisa the card. You can see this is where the moment where my heart breaks.
Exact moment his heart breaks.
Yeah, like that. And I knew the game was over from there. I knew it. I could feel it. And I've been to... This game is always towards the end of July, and I'd always go to the Knights game to see the Tigers play the Knights and wear my Phillips jersey and all that and have a great time. And it was usually a pretty close contest. And when I saw that and Ponga getting freed up to do what he had to do... And that step, man, it was like I'm like, that's done.
The kid's back.
Game over. And
the kid's back. Now we've got to look at his numbers because they're absolutely insane across the stat lines. 2 tries, 2 try assists, 242 running meters, 58 post contact meters, 6 tackle busts, 3 line breaks, 2 line break assists. It's back to the old Ponga. You know, the Pong that we knew and loved when he first came to the club, and he was remarkable and no one had ever seen anything like it. He's been stifled a bit in attack this year with the Knights playing very flat. They changed that this week to play very deep. We'll come back on that in a minute.
Well, this is the Ponga that the Knights signed.
Yeah, this is the $4.4 million man.
This is the man that everyone was looking for. And you know what? He showed up and... I mean, I think maybe it was because we had like a really good other decent half as well, and Blake Green played a really good game as well. But,
he had a welcome to Newcastle.
Yeah.
Welcome and never leave.
I honestly don't know how much you can do with a team to get like as glued in and whatnot in what was it, 4 days?
4 days.
I think they just
he only made the captain's run. That was his first training session.
Was his
captain's run the day before the game. The other one I wanted to highlight was Jacob Safidi.
Oh, yeah.
Now, he's been incredible. His numbers are just looking fantastic. 1 try, 174 metres, 75 post contact, 2 tackle busts, 1 line break. This may be controversial, and I don't care. I'm going to say it. Jacob Safidi needs to start next week, despite Daniel Safidi being back. He's just been in that good of form. You can't put him to the bench. He's been phenomenal.
You can't, but I mean, I can go through text messages from you spruiking Daniel Safidi and show this to you and be like, why wouldn't we just start him? But you're probably right. Maybe it would be actually better for Daniel to come off the bench maybe and say like...
Ease his way back in, you know? He doesn't have to come in and play the full 60 or
By the
whatever.
way, that
props
wasn't a try.
now.
That was bullshit.
I was not
double
a try.
movement, elbow was down.
Every day of the week. Every day of the week, that's a
over.
double movement. But yeah, no, Blake Green, he steadied the ship. He was brilliant. He came in, he did what he had to do, got to his kicks, took the pressure off Pearce. And then again, like that little inside-outside or outside-inside play that he pulled with Pine.
They're both the same. Inside-outside, outside-inside, I think.
I don't know how to say it.
I don't know. What the hell? Is it vice versa or vice versa? I don't know, man.
But what the hell was we talking about?
I don't care. Probably the Knights shellacking the Tigers.
Yeah. Oh, Kalen Ponga.
Oh, shellacking's another word. Shemozzle and shellacking.
Shemozzle and
We got 2 of them.
But I think the best one for me was, I believe... No, it's coming up a bit later. But the Mitch Barnett offload for the try that was scored by another player who wasn't Mitch Barnett. Whose name I've forgotten. It was Heimel Hunt. That's it, out on the wing there.
I think I was doing a commiseratory poo in the toilet of this part. I kicked over a chair and just like, I'm out.
I was doing a celebratory one in front of everyone.
They're better.
At the
Yeah,
place.
they're better. Same smell, but better. Here we go. It's right here.
Here it is. So obviously we get Ponga going up for the ball. Clemmer, bit of ball playing there.
Oh,
Barnett gets that offload away. I've never seen a pass like it from the Knights. Not since the days of Gidley.
No, that's right.
We haven't had anyone who could do that since the Gidley days.
Oh, you hate to see a behind-the-back pass against the Tigers too, reminiscent of the... Oh.
Off the ground and behind the back.
Yeah, it was a great game. I loved watching it. It was really good. Apart from all the blue jerseys going across the try line. No.
But look, there was Josh King. Let's talk Josh King.
Let's talk Kingy.
Under Brownie, as we discussed, he was, I think, 2 or 3 years he played under Brownie.
Yeah.
And he was always seen as not very good.
Yeah, I think he was, I mean, as a lot of the guys that we had a lot of young base was sort of on the cusp, if you will.
Yes, he was cusping.
Cusping.
Oh, he was gonna cusp.
I hope we
all
talk
over
about
the
some
place.
more cusping later too. Yeah, there's a couple of good cusps coming
That's
up.
for the joust up late.
Just after dark. I think really made like dumb. I think the first touch the ball was a real dumb penalty. Real dumb. But yeah, honestly, man, like
you know what though? That was the last vestiges of Brownie. He still had Brownie in his head.
He had to purge the
He made
brown.
that mistake. He purged the brown.
Yep.
Much like you did. He purged the brown, and he had probably the best game of his career.
Oh, by far. I mean, I hope he doesn't have another one like that in a long time.
This pass
He's
from
been
Ponga
fantastic. Yeah.
was just incredible. That was the kind of thing he was pulling off in Origin last year.
Yeah.
Straight on the chest of Toa. Unfortunately, he broke the bubble. He might have gone outside the dead ball line there. That's probably broken the bubble.
It's broken the bubble.
Do you reckon the bubble extends beyond the field? Because I've been under the impression that they just live on the field and stay in the field.
This is the thing.
'Cause if
How
you go
far
out of
does
the
the bubble
stadium-
go? Like, can you go somewhere and pick up some takeaway food, or do you have to...
Takeaway, yes.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
Takeaway, yes.
Beautiful. Good.
But you can't give a fake name and stay in a cafe if you're a Mediterranean front row playing for St. George.
Yes,
you can't do that.
You cannot do that.
I don't want to name names.
No. A dead ball is close to the bubble. Don't go close to the fence. There's at home you won't get spat on, but somewhere else you will. And
everywhere.
Especially if this game was at Campbelltown, you will catch the COVID. It will get you.
Now, actually, that brings up another story. I'd like to cut back to the news for a sec. What do you remember? Bo Henry played for the Gold Coast Titans, I believe. I'm pretty sure he played for the Knights for a while. Now, he was playing in a New South Wales President's Cup game. So they've taken the reserve grade sides from Sydney, a couple of country ones as well. And Bo Henry was sent off playing for the Wenty Magpies for wiping his blood on an opposing player in a dumb brain snap.
Even if it isn't a pandemic, even if there's not like shit going on across the globe. You don't wipe your blood on someone. You just don't do it.
No. Like first day of kindergarten. That's what they told us.
You don't
so are
do
you
it.
bleeding? Yeah. Don't touch anyone.
Yeah,
Huh?
don't do it.
It's that easy.
Just, I don't even know what else to say. I can't wait to see this. Why would you do something as dumb as that? Wiping blood? Did he get like a full blood rag and just wipe it on the
No, I believe
the
it
white
was-
numbers on the back?
I
Or?
believe it was bleeding out the nose. He just gave it a little wipe and then gave it a little bit of a face rub. Let's see if
He
we
gave
can
it
see
face
it
rub?
in the footage here. It was so which one's Bo Henry? I think that's him there. Yes, there you have the player calling for the penalty.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bo Henry, what a dick. Here we go. The man in the not a good look.
We need the
Not a
we need
good
the
look.
Zapruder footage for this because I need to see what's on the other side of this. We need to like slow it right down, the grassy knoll sort of situation.
What does all right now? Forgive me if I'm being an idiot. What does the Zapruder mean? Who was Zapruder?
Yeah, here we go.
Abraham Zapruder was the man that filmed on his Super 8 camera. He was the man that filmed the assassination of JFK.
What an intriguing name, Abraham Zapruder.
Zapruder.
Right.
Yeah.
Good, down to earth Aussie name that is. Good stuff.
That is.
Well done, Adrian Zapruder.
Oh, friend of the podcast,
Friend of the
Adrian
podcast.
Zapruder.
He's a good friend of the show. Now, who have we got next week, Righty? Let's answer that question. We've got the Sea Eagles.
Oh,
An
yes.
old favourite, a battle of two titans of the NRL, you know, two of the great clubs of all time. Did I get that right, Pom, or am I looking at the wrong... Oh, yes!
You
I got
nailed it.
right.
Well done. Well
So
done.
yeah, we've got Manly next week. Now, the last time we played Manly, there was some contentious circumstances around
was.
the ending of the game, and I loved every second of
Oh,
it.
there's nothing sweeter than the tears of a Sea
I
Eagles
caught
fan.
them all in my hand and
The funny
like
thing
a,
is,
like a kitten at milk. Just-
there is.
Can you hear that through the?
Oh, it's going to give me nightmares, man. But yeah, there's I'm led to believe, now this is just hearsay, but before the Knights existed, the
Yes.
Sea Eagles are probably Newcastle's team because they were the closest one
Ew,
from Sydney.
no?
A lot of people at the pub would tell me this.
Really?
Because, yeah, a lot of the old blokes would go for the Sea Eagles because they were, like, closest to Newcastle, blah, blah, blah. Again, hearsay. But
The best kind of
there's
conversations.
still, and I know this because there's still there's a handful of like Sea Eagles fans that still drink at the pub, and they will not go there on a Knights game, and for the reason that if there's no other team than possibly Melbourne or Brisbane that Newcastle hates more, it's the Sea Eagles. They've got to be top tier. They've got to be number one.
Right. Yeah, well, fuck them.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want them to be number one ever. Or, you know, I don't want to be... Oh, hang on. Oh,
Is that for you?
yes. Hello, Joust residents. Mr. Zapruder. Oh,
Zapruder.
Mr. Zapruder. Do you reckon he could jump on the cans and the camera with you guys? You missed the whole grassy knoll.
The whole grassy knoll.
You missed the whole shot. Can you
Jesus
come on
Christ.
and work the camera? Yep, you can come on and work the camera, Mr. Zapruder. Thank you very much. Beautiful. See you, mate.
Let's see, mate.
Hey, there you go. That's a big get. We've got Zapruder.
I mean, I
coming
tell
on
you
the
what,
Joust.
the more I hear Zapruder, like, isn't that like, if he's a photographer, he should be filming porn. With that name, that's Zapruder. It's
It's a
Abraham
made-up name.
Zapruder. It is.
It's not a real name.
Well, no, because the CEO did it, of course, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they just put him on the thing there and then did whatever he had to do. Anyway, yeah, back to the Sea Eagles.
Yeah.
I think there's the amount of momentum coming out of that game going into this one is phenomenal. It's one of those things that you just, momentum in sports, momentum in sports. It's a real thing.
Oh,
And against
absolutely.
an enemy that you despise, the Sea Eagles, it's going to be a good game. The worst thing about it is the 2:00 time slot.
Isn't
which
that a
is
weird
just
time slot?
so bad. It's so bad. But, I mean,
It's a good excuse to get on the cans at midday.
it's
though.
exactly right. Great excuse to get on the cans at midday. It's good for people that run pubs because you know that people are going to be in there and drinking beer
Yep.
early, and then you can just move them on afterwards. But yeah, honestly, like I think that's an edge to the Knights, and I think Manly still haven't got
No Tommy Turbo.
No Tommy Turbo.
Looks like
Yep.
Marty Tapau got clobbered in the head last
did.
week. He might be out. Adam Fanua-Blake suffered an injury. He might be out. It's all looking up for the Knights.
I would rather them play because I think the Knights would turn up a bit better. That's what
absolutely.
I feel. If they're not there, like it'd be like, oh well, you know, like
There'd be an asterisk next to the win. They'd say, oh.
See, here
they
you are
didn't have
talking
their
about the
two
win. It
boys.
hasn't even happened. Look, Blake Green can't even get his.
Hasn't even got his
he's-
jersey yet. Oh.
Even put him in his Warriors one, man. Like, the poor
Just
bastard.
anything. But look,
The Black Shadow of Blake Green. That's terrible.
from
1986.
he's from Fairfield, current COVID hotspot.
Yes.
Yeah,
And he's
interesting.
been hot for the Knights, I tell you what. Nicknamed Greenie. Couldn't have guessed that. What a spark of genius.
That's the most footy thing ever. Under nickname, just Greenie.
Yeah, just put a Y on
Just
the end.
Greenie.
Yeah, screw it. That'll do.
See, now I probably would have gone Greeno.
Greeno.
Like your Davos, your Jonos.
Yeah, I think if it ends in an N, you have to go O.
Yeah. No, I like that. That's
But
good.
I know, but then they got the E. It's sort of like, you got the green E. It's like alliteration sort of
Yeah.
thing. Or no,
Assonance.
Assonance. Yes, I
Assonance,
made an assonance out of myself there, didn't I? Oh shit.
But look, I'm really confident going in because that game against the Tigers, to me, it feels like that was a statement. It was a game we're expected to win, but not only did we win it, we won it really well. The Knights of last year just don't win.
We did win that really
at
well.
all.
I'm on
'Cause,
the Knights now.
It was towards the end of the season. Was it the third last round? Knights had to beat the Tigers last year.
Yeah,
And
I think somewhere around that line.
Fed us our own dicks.
Yes.
Oh, it was
It
terrible.
was great being in the stadium and walking out because, like, just seeing that because I love the Knights. Like, I've grown up supporting the Knights, and I love the Tigers because I was brought up that way. Thanks, Dad. But yeah, like walking out and then people. Yeah, we're shit, it's good. And you're walking out like really good, and then you get beaten. And anyway, hey, I think we need to dig into the sack. Surely
Let's
by
dig
now.
into the sack, ladies and gentlemen. Where's the sack button? All right, no sack button for this week. There we go.
Hey, we got it in the back.
Time to open the sack, ladies and gentlemen. Another superb sack episode. This has been a huge one again. Thank you all for your input. Now, we've gone a bit differently. We asked this week who the fans would like to see for their hats off. And it didn't really work because they pretty much named every player. So according to, you fans of the Joust, you fans of the Knights, everyone was brilliant. And that's fantastic to have a consensus whereby people are naming 4 and 5 different players as worthy of the
How
hats
good
off.
was the water boy? Unbelievable.
Reserve Orange Peeler really made
the
his...
hydration.
He made his free can of solo. He
unbelievable.
worked
He
for
did.
that.
He
He
did.
worked for that. So we got, Paul Green got a few mentions. Herman Esiesi got a few mentions. Ponga, obviously. Josh King. Inari Tuala. In fact, Inari, if you go visit Cal McKean, he's going to buy you a beer at the Dell. He's promised that to the show. So, Inari, get on to Cal Dog.
Yep.
Kurt Mann obviously got a nomination.
The man.
We got one from Daniel J. Larkham. He nominates for hats off Nathan Brown for stepping down so we could sign... O'Brien. O'Brien has transformed this team, says who? Daniel. Sorry, Daniel. Brown has transformed this team even with a crap load of injuries. And Bindi Bates likes to nominate for hats off Alex McKinnon for his recruiting. And hasn't he done it well? Oh, he's done a beauty.
Macca has done a really good job. He's like one of the most consistent things in this is like actually seeing players and do well. He's done an outrageous job.
Yeah.
And I honestly, if I actually no, hats off to him. He's my hats off this week. Fuck Ponga. With that step,
it's Macca.
It's Macca. No,
Macca.
he's a weapon of a dude. He's a really good guy, and he's done really well at getting some really good talent to the club.
Well, he really built off what Darren Mooney was doing with Brownie. They built the building blocks for getting good players. And then I think McKinnon's just taken a run with it. And we forgot to include in the news that young boy.
The signing,
The young boy who the Knights have signed from Huddersfield Giants,
The
I believe.
Dread Threat.
He's
He's incredible if you like watching under-19s rugby league at a park that they were playing on that had a swing that kept getting into shot.
And if you don't like that,
kept getting into shot.
get off our podcast.
We don't want to see you.
Unsubscribe right now if you don't like seeing big kids beat up on small children.
I was watching him, and he looks about 11 foot tall.
Oh,
he
Dominic,
looks
yeah.
11 foot tall. But if we, I don't know if we can get this in post or whatever. But there's a scene when he scores, I think the 3rd try of his hat trick of that on the thing, and there's a kid on the swing, and it comes up. There's a big oval swing that they're pushing him up. It comes in. I'm just like, where are they playing this game? Is it down? Is it down like at the back of Tanambit there, where they have like the dog park and the swing there?
They've got the old caravan on the hill selling beers.
It's incredible. There's like 12 people standing on the fence cheering him on for his next try.
Have they got
And there's this little girl on the swing going, "Whee!" back.
Have they got the cars lined up on the hill so you can just hit
They
the horn
don't, because I
anytime
think it
someone
goes
scores?
off to like a cliff down on the other side. It is unbelievable. It's truly, she looked more excited than the 12 people in the game. But this guy looks talented, man.
You know
it looks
what
really
that
good.
reminds me of? Did you ever play footy at Holford Oval in Mount Hutton?
I never played footy, so no.
Well, did you ever attend anything in Mount Hutt? Have you ever been to Mount Hutt?
I have been to Mount
Right.
Hutt, I can
Well, there's a
confess.
footy
Not
field
between the hours of 12 and 2 on the 21st of September 1994.
That's good.
Because
Very
I have
specific.
receipts. I was somewhere else. I was 3. I couldn't have killed anyone and
Fair
buried
call.
them in the car park.
Now,
Couldn't have done
I'll
it.
tell you what, if you went to Holford Oval, you'd be accidentally killing someone. Because like you mentioned, the field, then a cliff. This was a pain in the ass because you had an enormous hill. And then the hill went almost straight down. And then you have the field.
Perfect.
And then another drop. It was a stupid place to play footy.
I'm going to somehow top this though.
Okay,
I grew up
alright.
in Maitland, East Maitland. My team, I played soccer and cricket in Tenambit, the Tenambit Sharks and the Tenambit Wolves.
Nice.
Our main field backed onto a gun range. So if you kicked the ball out, it was like it'd roll down the hill and there was a gun range behind it.
Was
you
it
could hear
Cessnock
popping
Pistol
off.
Club?
Sorry, Cessnock.
Cessnock Pistol Club,
no,
was it?
No. See, us from East
Weren't
Maitland think Cessnock is a whole. You from Newcastle think Maitland's a whole. So and continually as you go west, there's holier and holier places.
We're just members of different gun clubs, that's all.
You know what? We're all the same.
We're all the same.
Shit fucks.
Just love shooting shit.
Shooting shit.
Now, let's just get to some actual questions. Jared Carl asks, was Barnett's flick pass offload the best pass of all time? Absolutely.
Yes.
Jared can't think of many better, nor can I. And I'm not going to look into it.
I don't want to
it's
see
number
anymore.
one. No,
I don't want
that's
to see
it.
anymore. When
I've
I saw
seen
that come off, I'm just like, this is it's their day. Like
Yeah.
it's their day.
It was one of those
you can't do
games,
it.
yeah.
The Knights could get away with anything they wanted, and they looked good doing it, which is scary.
Fantastic, which was just, that flick pass was truly something special. Sean Lazenby asks, simple one. Do you sign
Friend of the
Blake Green for
podcast.
2021? Good friend of the podcast, Sean. He is the specialist half we've needed for so long to take pressure off Pearce and Ponga and let them run. Now, the issue I see there, Sean, is that the cap space for next year that we would have hopefully had for Blake Green has been tied up with the signing of Frizzell and a couple of key re-signings. I'm not too clear on the cap thing, but I believe it's come out that we don't have the cap space for him.
So what, he's going to play, 10 games?
10 games?
So he's going to be like 10 here, 10, 50, 50, 50,
At
10.
club number 7. Yep, 10 games at club
Well, he
number
might
7.
play his 400th game for us. So, I mean, for you, for the Knights. I keep saying us because I'm on the chest. There's every chance he could. But yeah, look, I don't think it could work unless he's going to take a significant pay cut to live in Newcastle. I wouldn't. But he's good, and he could fit really well, and he could win some premierships if he wanted to stay.
But at least the way I'm looking at it, now Kurt Mann has been playing great, but he's playing a bit differently to your traditional 5'8", the way Blake Green's playing. Kurt's all about, a running game. He's not feeding the outside man quite as much, running beautifully, hitting holes. But I think a couple of months under Blake Green, he could really learn about how to approach being a 6. I think Blake Green is the perfect person to have their tutelaging.
So you like to see
tutoring?
Mann as the 6?
Oh, I'd love to see Mann as a 6. Absolutely. And I think, a couple of months under Blake Green just to get, the specifics of 5'8" player right.
Yeah.
Because we went back into hooker and he was brilliant.
He was great.
But you want him at 6 because we've got 7 hookers for next year. Because we
Exactly.
signed every hooker and they've all got injured.
It's a terrible problem for the Knights to
But
have with 7 hookers.
no, we passed it on.
He did.
Billy Walters. Poor
Billy
bastard.
Walters,
As
yep.
soon as he went into hooker, he was done.
Yep, and it sucks, and he's really good, but I think we've only got him for this year anyway, so...
Ah, well. Next question, Daniel Turner. Blake Green, because he took the pressure off our other key players, Daniel's nominated him for hats off there and allowed them to play a lot more freely than what they have in recent weeks. How do we sign him long term? Again,
We don't.
we don't.
No.
I don't think there's room in the cap. There's been some good purchases for next year with, what's his name? The big child? Dominic Young. There we go. The large child coming over.
Well,
Doesn't
you can probably pay some of Paul Vaughan's fees, and you'd be sweet.
Doesn't he remind you of a young Jamal Idris?
He does. Hopefully without Jamal Idris's tendencies sometimes.
To gain weight, perhaps.
Or I think his off-the-field antics as
Remember
well.
when Dane Laurie was the next...
Yeah, I can't say that I do, but
He was...
anyone with dreads, man, is just like
Yeah.
so tantalizing.
That's it. He was the next Jamal, and he made it playing for... I can't remember, but he got a few NRL games.
Yeah.
And then similar to Jamal,
Yeah.
a few off-field
Yeah.
incidents. And I think he came back to play for Central Charlestown Butchers. The
Beautiful.
Butcher Boys.
The Butcher Boys.
Yeah. You
Beautiful.
always love to see, a star who's fallen from grace playing in the local leagues.
Oh, you love it.
It's fantastic.
Oh, crowd favourite.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be a crowd favourite too with the dreads. You see
Oh.
the dreads come on the field, and they're bopping around. Fantastic.
Imagine having, Edric's cornrows on one side, Dominic's dreads on the other side.
Maybe they go half and half it, like...
Nathan. Nathan, I think you're onto something. I think you're onto something there.
Boys, if you're watching, I know you are. Hit me up. We'll make it work.
Now, Daniel Turner asked, don't you mean sixth heaven? Yes, we do mean sixth heaven because we're in six and we haven't done that for decades. So, yes, Daniel agreed. Next question, Andrew Turvey. Is it just me, Andrew asks, or does Aiden Quicksand Guerra, we were going with, Sleepy Man Guerra, but
absolutely.
Quicksand I like as well. Does he have the sexiest offload this side of the black stump? Now, we compare to the Mitchell Barnett offload.
That's flashy.
The Guerra offload wasn't as flashy. It wasn't as, loosey-goosey, having a bit of fun. But from Aiden Guerra, he may as well have gone out wearing, a big pink tiara and throwing glitter everywhere.
La la la.
Yeah, something
what a
like
beautiful
that.
man.
Well,
no, it is a handsome man despite being a Queenslander.
I've lost
as
my
well.
train of thought again. I don't know.
When you get pink tiaras in your head, I know what you're doing, man.
There was something about...
Here he goes.
Yeah.
Here, oi.
So it's not the best flick pass I've ever seen, but coming from Aiden Guerra, that's
talent, man.
That's Benji in 05.
Yeah, he may as well done a backflip.
Yeah.
It may as well done a backflip. That is an incredible ball playing move.
And another question for the sack. Shannon Pinkowski asked, thoughts on Tex Hoy being robbed a jersey by Crossland? Now, I've been thinking about this one, Shannon. It's a very good question, Shannon. Now, obviously, we had Tex Hoy. He was, at the start of the season, he was the next big thing. He was going to be everything. He was going to be our 5'8", our fullback, whatever. He was going to be the CEO. He was going to take Uncle Phil's job. He was going to go bring his dad in to, be the night surfing coach. But we haven't seen anything from Tex in a few weeks now. But I'll be interested to see if he makes it onto the wing this week with Stafford Toa being out.
There's every chance. I mean, he's only impressed when he's been on the field from what I've seen. He seems to be quite the versatile player.
Very.
Great utility to come off the bench. But if he starts on the wing, I think this would be his game. I mean, he's probably gonna shine. If he doesn't, he'll probably be relegated back to the bench or not playing at all. But I have a lot
suits me just fine.
I have a lot of hopes for young little Texie. I think he's going to go really well.
But let's talk Phoenix. He's made that number 14 jersey his own.
This is hard because the rise of the Phoenix has been incredible.
Rising from Arizona.
Oh, there you go.
He's been fantastic, young Phoenix Crossland. So much energy he brings and decisive runs, and like you saw with that try to the Sandman, Aiden Guerra.
The Sandman.
Yeah, the Sandman. That's what I was trying to say before.
Yeah, what a man. No, it's awesome. It's a real problem when you have to decide between good young talent that you can choose between.
We haven't had this problem in decades.
It's got to be a good feeling when because the Knights can be classed as the retirement village. The Tigers are the retirement village.
We've handed the baton.
Yeah, having young talent coming through to have to decide between it's hard, but it's also the best problem you ever want to have. It's fantastic.
Who hosted Young Talent Time?
Oh, Daryl Summers? Was it Daryl
Was it
Summers?
Daryl?
Surely. Oh, hang on.
No, he was busy with his clothing shop. Daryl's Apparel.
Daryl's Apparel. It was like he would not use anything in winter. It was all summer.
Yeah.
Summer's clothes.
Summers.
At Daryl's Apparel.
And then, of course, he had that famous percussion group he was in, Summers Drummers.
Summers Drummers.
Yeah.
Hey, but they also had the guitarists in the band, Summers Strummers.
Send the check, Channel 9. Thank you very much. Cal McDonald, good friend of the show. And I say this
Johnny Young.
Oh, Johnny Young.
I only said that because I saw it. But yeah, he's a... If he isn't a Daryl Summers looking mother effer, I don't know what is, man.
He's a poor man's Daryl Summers.
Yeah. Oh, don't Johnny Young.
Oh, hang on. What's his... Yeah, oh well. Poor man's Daryl Summers. We're huge Daryl men on this show.
Sorry, boomers.
Get out of here, Johnny Young. We don't want you.
Bye, baby.
Now, I saved this one for last because I love this question. I think it's brilliant. It's from Cal McDonald. Now, Cal asks, who would John Goodman play in a feature film of the Newcastle Knights? Now, I love John Goodman.
Friend
He's
of the show,
fantastic.
absolutely.
Great listener. We don't like to put him in the sack because
he's too big
he's a
for the
celebrity.
sack.
He's too big for the sack.
He needs a 5-star
It's
sack.
the people's sack.
Yeah.
When we'll get John on to a whole John Goodman sack later. But for now, it's the people's sack. Now...
Oh, God. Nagy swinging from the treetops.
That's exactly
That's
what
who
I was
it
going to
is.
say, Nagy. Excellent work.
Nathan Tinkler, well done. John Goodman could definitely play him.
I do like the suggestion of Glenn Grief, though.
That's
a good one, Glenn Grief. But yeah, I think he's got to be Tinkler. He would, he's got that, bit of belly around him. He's a big burly fella.
He is.
He has, he can play the brash. What did Tinkler have? Yeah, that brash.
I think it's called
enthusiasm.
it didn't really give a fuck either.
No, yeah, that's sorry. Nathan's not giving a fuck.
Nathan not giving a fuck.
So if the movie is surrounding that era, then Clint Eastwood's definitely in for Wayne Bennett then.
Eastwood is Bennett, 100%.
That was the first casting call we made. Yeah, we're just trying to find that spot for Goodman. It was like, it's one of those, you find those movies where you don't find an actor to play the role.
Yes.
You make the role to play the actor.
So it's obviously like a serious comedy. Is it like a dark comedy?
Dramedy.
Dramedy.
I think you're thinking of a dromedary. That's the
Dromedary.
camel with one hump.
It is. Oh,
Or
my
maybe
God.
two. I don't know.
Holy crap, they do look like... Clint Eastwood looks more like a skeleton every single day.
I've never seen them side by side. That's incredible.
Okay, I've never seen them side by side either. Can we argue the fact that they may be the same person? If
I
you've
think
never
we
seen
definitely
them
can.
together.
We can't argue against it,
No.
given this evidence.
100%.
That's incredible. Can we maybe get
I
a
want
picture
P.T.
of John,
Anderson to direct
John
this
Goodman
film.
with next to Nathan Tinkler?
You're asking a lot
I
here.
think now. I think this is where we're really going to. Oh, there we go. That's a good one. Karen Walters looking like Woody Harrelson. That's a
Yeah.
good one.
Who plays Darius in this, though? That's what I want to know.
Daria.
A bag of turd. Daria.
They're
The cartoon
just
character
gonna get
Daria.
The cartoon character Daria. Wheel her out.
She's like,
Put her in fullback for the Broncos. She'll
She
do a
would do
much
the
better
same,
job.
but the ball goes past her.
That is more effort than Darius has put
It
in
did.
in the last 2 years. So there we obviously have John Goodman, very
Yeah.
good looking fella,
Yeah.
fantastic actor as well. But let's just see Nathan Tinkler.
Oh,
That's a really bad photo of that first one.
oh, that is bad.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. I still think, John Goodman, I've brought this up on the show a number of times, but John Goodman's greatest role, Fred Flintstone.
Good man, good movie. I think I commented
very,
last
very-
week.
you did.
Unbelievable, and that outfit, man. Oh,
It's incredible.
I want to wear it to bed every night.
No
it
one
looks
else
so
could have pulled that
comfortable.
off.
Yeah, but
Except
have a
John
dude.
Goodman.
Oh,
Well, there you go.
a young John Goodman would absolutely eat Tinkler's heart out.
We just got to get the clippers onto him and we're golden.
Have you ever seen more of an Eggman in your
No,
life?
I've met a lot of Eggmen too. He's the eggiest.
He's the eggiest of men.
It turns out he had fucking scrambled brain anyway,
Yes.
so bugger him. John Goodman, you'll do a wonderful job. You'll make him the villain we all need to see.
Yeah.
Except Nathan Brown, who's now a villain on this show.
Always
In case you didn't realise, Jousters, Nathan Brown's a villain here now. We don't like him anymore.
the Boganer, love it. Oh, unbelievable.
Anyway, that's all we've got time for this week, Jousters. Thank you very much, Nathan
Thanks
Wright,
for
for
having me,
coming on.
guys, as always.
We'll have you on next time when the Tigers lose, or the Storm. We don't
I'd
know
rather
now.
come when the Storm win.
Yeah.
Like, have me on when the Storm lose. That'd be even better. I'll
Yeah.
just literally just take my pants off and poop on the table. I'll be like, "This is what you are, Storm." Fuck yeah! But yeah, the Tigers loss is good
Hey,
as
you
well.
won't be the only one.
Exactly.
You won't be the only one. Catch us on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter.
SoundCloud. Again,
Let's
Apple
stop the show for a moment.
Shit. Oh, we've just seen the cup.
We forgot
just
the
seen the
cup.
cup.
How did we forget the cup?
That's all
Now-
I'm ever going to think about now. I love it.
We were discussing pre-show an incident that happened in the Richmond Tigers changing room, where a few players were channeling John Hopewadi and putting the finger up the date of a team member during the team song.
It's a good pump up.
It's a good pump up.
Yeah.
Now, there's been a whole lot of pushback from people in the AFL media and AFL fans saying it's a bad look for the game, it's not good. But look, if fondling your mates is a bad look, I don't want to goddamn be here.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes. I've fondled all my mates, yes.
Yeah, all right. Well, yeah,
You're
I know. I've
next.
been on the receiving end. Don't worry about that. What's better than a kiss?
A touch on the penis.
A touch on the penis is better than a kiss. I'm glad the boys followed up as we watch here.
Yeah.
Here comes the pong. Look, boop. There he goes. Slow it right down. Make it. Oh, here
Now,
we
I
go.
think what he's done, and this is particularly clever, he shook the left hand and then he made it look like he was going for the right hand.
Yep.
And, oh, I can't make it.
No. Yeah. Have
So
a little
yeah,
honker.
I think it was pretty clever of Ponga to say, "Oh, I was just going for the other hand, missed, got him on the rod."
I honestly can't. This is the most perfect bit of footage I've ever seen.
I'm so glad we saved this till the end.
Honestly, man, for everyone that has hung around this long, this is your little cherry on top of here.
That's it. This is the Easter egg.
The fact that you can see the outline of Piercy's dong, and then you don't know why Ponga's doing it in the first place. He's no business putting his hand there. The only thing that I can think about is Piercy moves to his left and he gets him on the bum. He doesn't. He's literally walking straight. Ponga just decides to have a little touch, and God bless him.
Isn't it wonderful to see? You love to see.
But what's
the
next,
boys being
Liam?
the
What
boys.
is next? They kiss. There's a
Oh,
touch
we
on the
can't
penis.
say that on a family
Are we going to have
podcast.
like a bit of a Tony Staggs moment and have a bit of a exclusive footage? Exclusive footage is probably not the best word to use with the Tony Staggs.
Not at all. But what a
What a
great way
feed
to
in that
finish the
one.
show.
Yeah, what a
we
great
should
way.
start that. Nick, I'm going to start the show next week with that.
Yeah,
as
please
well.
do.
Let's just That's a weekly segment.
Yeah, can that just
Ponga and the donger.
replace the walking through the commie? Just walking up to the commie and going to loos. And when you open the men's loo, you see the cup.
I'm for it. I'm
all
for it.
for
I'll
it.
install the bloody projector on the roof of the toilets myself so we can project that onto the toilets
Sensational.
day in, day out,
Say
every day of the year. Wonderful. You love to see it.
You'd love
You
to
love
see
to see the boys just being... If you can't feel comfortable touching your mates' fellas, you're not mates.
You're not mates.
So we'll leave it at that
Yeah.
for this week's program. As we mentioned, catch us on Instagram, SoundCloud, YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, Twitter I never use, but we have it.
Yeah, I follow you. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
I
give us
never
a
use it at
follow,
all.
but you're not
love
going to
it.
get much out of that. But yeah, thank you for coming, Justice. Thank you for being part of our wonderful program. And thank you again to Nathan Wright.
Thank
Ladies
you
and
very
gentlemen.
much. Nag, you'll be back next week. I really appreciate being here. What a yikes.
Thank you very much. All day.
All day. All day. Jousters, out.